Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of A Night Court. I'm Rob Fisher, alongside Brevin Knight, as we come your way today from our humble abodes today, where it's gorgeous, it looks like, on both sides of us here today. Welcome to the show. We appreciate it. We thank you for listening. And, of course, want to remind you, if you are listening, that you can watch the podcast as well every week. You can watch it on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. We'll link it out on Twitter as well. My Twitter is @TheFishNation, Brevin @Brevin Knight 22, and the show @Night Court 22. So all that's out of the way. BK, how are you, man? We got too much show today. Too much stuff.
I'm gonna try to continue to do a good job of getting it out on Twitter. And
you're doing better.
And we did our first Instagram post last time. But I don't know when the second one will be. That took a lot out of me. So, yeah, I'm excited though. Good day, great day.
Have you posted on Threads? Yeah, you've posted on Threads.
Yeah, I've done a good job of quoting a repost on Threads.
Right.
So that counts as your own post too, doesn't it?
No? Yes, I think so. Yeah, we'll count it. We'll count it. If not, for sure.
I mean, for us.
You know what was really weird this week? I mean, other than the debate.
Oh my Lord! Please don't get into that.
All the free agency. How many highlights were against the Grizzlies from last year?
It was that type season for the Grizz last year.
And I'm like, damn, Jake LaRavia, you were on the floor a lot. And then we had a number 77 on our team named Deke Giroux, who's up like defending Klay Thompson in one of Thompson's highlight reels. I'm like, what is going on? What happened last year?
What was his first game at Oklahoma City? I wonder whether
I think so.
He had the first game and he came out. He was getting to the basket, making plays, throwing lobs. He was doing all this thing. We were like, oh, this would be cool, man. We've been waiting to get multiple people that make moves and get to the basket. And then it was just like somebody just turned the water on. It was like no more going to the basket. He was out there looking like Brevin Knight, just dribble down, pass the ball, cut through, play good defense. Yeah. I was like, hey, man, I want to see the guy that was doing all of the getting into the paint, making it fun. I want that guy back.
Yeah, Deke Giroux. How about that?
Deke Giroux.
Oh, what a year it was. Last week, of course, we had the draft, and we broke it down so well on the show here.
Top notch.
That we're going to break down the draft itself now. When we talked about the draft, I mean, I thought there were four things, and one of them was just draft Zach Edey at 9. If you like him enough, take him at 9. If you don't want to make a move because maybe he and Klingon are too close to really overspend for some sort of trade, then go ahead, take him at 9. Grizzlies get him at 9. It's certainly the fit, the need, and guy can play ball. 2-time Wooden winner? Was that right?
Yeah, 2-time College Player of the Year. And the thing you like about him is he wasn't a highly touted basketball player. It's not what he did. He came in and just worked himself into what he has become. And so it'd be nice to see him just continue to work. And I just think you said it perfect, it's the fit that the Grizzlies needed. They needed a center. They needed somebody who was ready to play right now. And they needed someone whose skill set fits what he does. And so I think he'll be a nice compliment to the rest of the Grizzlies starting lineup, because barring some type of drastic bad training camp or bad summer league where they're not picking things up, or the Grizzlies bring in a bona fide center, then I would expect for him to be in the starting lineup next season. And all of what happens from now until then is getting him ready for that.
What do you have to do to get him ready?
Other
than the terminology and those things.
I think it's the reps. I think it's
certain people.
It's not your practice reps. It's going to be how much pickup basketball are they going to play between now and when training camp starts.
Right.
Because if they're able to get enough guys in and play pickup basketball, why, of course, yes, get used to Ja. Yes, get used to playing next to Jaren. What's that like? But you also are able to use all of your skills in the summer before it gets to when it gets to the regular season, or you get to now you fit into your role. But in the summertime, it gives him a chance to see how everyone plays, but he also is able to just play freely on the floor. So they're able to see what he does. And then you move into molding what's going to help this team move forward. But I think the most important thing for him right now and what will help this team is if they can play as much pickup basketball together throughout the summer. And it doesn't have to, I'm not talking about everybody got to stay in Memphis and you got to play 3-4 times a week. But if they just come in for maybe a week out of the month or 2 weeks or however time where you're playing enough to get acclimated to one another, I think that'll accelerate his growth with the team.
Yeah. Cam Spencer, Jalen Wells, the Grizzlies seem to love him and really happy they were able to get both of them. And I say, hopefully, anytime a second rounder can hit, great.
Well, listen, they've done well, and again, they've done good with these two in second round. With Jalen Wells out of Washington State, and watching him play just a little bit, he's one of those guys who's sneaky talented. Like he's on the floor and he's doing things. Another one of those guys with a smile when he plays, intelligent and how he plays the game, the length and athleticism he brings to the floor for the Grizzlies, what they need. And then Cam Spencer, I saw him play an entire year because he was at Rutgers before he went to UConn last year. And so I had a chance to watch him. Another guy who was big in moments, like tough, gritty, and I think will resemble a lot of what we saw with Peyton Pritchard, what you see with that's my guy at Indiana. The way that TJ McConnell, the way that they're able to come off the bench and create sparks. The difference with him is he can score the ball a little bit better. I think we'll be able to, and at this point, maybe better than they were at that time.
It'll be interesting because, here we are again with 2 second-round picks on your roster, along with still some guys that we don't know what sort of future or what they can actually bring to the table. You don't want that number of guys to be so big.
No, they got to make a decision, Roberto. There's no way you're not going to be able to keep the guys that we saw last year who were young guys. Like decisions will have to be made with Scottie Pippen Jr. I don't know exactly what those. If I think he's a 2-way contract.
He's got the 2-year 2-way. Yeah,
exactly.
He's a 2-way guy.
So you have him. You have Trey Jemison, who was at that point. I think you start to some of those guys just because of the numbers and the draft happening. Some of those guys will start to you eliminate them anyway. But these guys have a good chance of being able to still help this basketball team, depending on what happens with the rest of the roster.
Right. Luke Kennard, his option not picked up, although reported that they are restructuring the deal to keep Luke in Memphis. I'm cool with that.
Heck yeah.
Luke's whole thing was he's got this salary that could be traded. That was the reason why Luke may have been traded. But if you can restructure it to a salary that's favorable, sure. Let's definitely do
it. Heck yeah. I still think he brings something to the floor that the team needs in terms of shot making. It was we saw a better job of doing more than just being a 3-point shooter last season, and hopefully continue with doing that. And so as long as it's a cap friendly number, I am all for bringing Luke back. I think he is a good fit with how Taylor Jenkins wants to play basketball. And I thought he fit in well with the team, and playing in different lineups also. So I'm with you. I'm 100% on. If it all works out and it's a cap friend, that he's back on the team.
All right, let's assume Luke is back on the team. Do you think it's done? There's your team. This is what we got, and if so, is that a contender?
I think you still got to do one move, Fish. I think they're you're still. We are putting a lot that Gigi Jackson is going to take another step forward in terms of being that scoring guy off of the bench at that size. You know what I'm saying? If there was if this was year 3 or 4 for him, then it's like, okay, let's rock with that and let's go from there, because he knows how to play. But I still think at that position is the one. I think if you want to say solidifying it, is being able to find that other dynamic, bigger wing player.
We're counting on, I guess, Jaren's your other 5, right? Your 5s are Edey and Jaren.
Brandon Clark.
Okay.
You know, he's our quasi when he's out there playing with Jaren, he plays the 5. And he's done a good job of being able to be an undersized 5 for this team and be able to change the game. Get undersized on one end, but bring so much versatility and so much balance and athleticism on the other end that it makes it hard for teams to defend him. So I think as long as he stays that way, he'll be that. Or if you find a value veteran guy to be able to slide into there as being an insurance for this team.
Right. All right, you want to get into the frenzy?
Yeah, let's get into the frenzy.
All right, here's what we got, and this is in no particular order, just as I was able to write them down. LeBron opts out of his deal. He may sign for less money if they can find somebody big, but they've struck out on everybody that they've wanted so far. So LeBron might get big max money, and Bronny gets a 2-year guaranteed deal as a 55th pick in the draft. When they celebrated in the room, you know, when they drafted him, the celebration in the room and the high fives and everything, I was like, that's a little dramatic. I mean, really, this was the least known or the most known secret that was out there. But then you turn around and give him 2 years. Holy crap.
Hey, listen, they want to give him time to develop as a basketball player. The best way to do that is by signing a deal. Hey, Rich Paul said it. If you want to give him a guaranteed contract, then we'll come in and talk to you and we'll go. But if you don't, then so it got down to the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers. And LeBron James has had enough power in this game and being who he is to ensure that there was a team that signed his son, because now I opt out. I can do whatever I want. Oh, well, now you're drafting my son. I've already talked about it for years, how much I would love to play with my son. Oh, sure, we'll draft him. 2-year deal. Sure, a 2-year deal. You re-sign now with us and give us a break on the amount also, or find oh, yeah, sounds great for us. We're drafting him. And we'll just see what happens. It's a win-win for the Lakers.
Crazy.
It's a win-win.
The Pelicans, they pick up DeJounte Murray.
Boy, I think for me, that's the biggest one. I mean, and because selfishly, you know, a lot of what happens around the league, you look at it as, well, how does that affect the Grizzlies?
Right.
And Paul George going to the 76ers was like, yes. That's like, get him out of the Western Conference. Start to break up that Clippers basketball team in some way. But then you turn around and it's like the one piece that the Pelicans needed to make them be a truly, truly good basketball team was if they were able to find a point guard. And they go out and find one at the level of DeJounte Murray. And so I think it allows now C.J. McCollum to slide off of the basketball and be more of C.J. McCollum. Now, a little bit what hurt them is they lost Najee Marshall, and he kind of gave them a little bit of toughness and a defensive presence with some size on their wings. And so they'll have to rely a lot on others. Trey Murphy, see can he do it defensively? But I think that was a one of those moves that happened that a lot of people didn't talk a lot about, but is going to be highly influential for the Grizzlies.
Isaiah Hartenstein, 3 years, $87 million goes to Oklahoma City Thunder, an area of need for them, and they address it with one of the best big men available.
And a guy who understands his role. Listen, he played in a shot first, a ball dominant point guard in Jalen Brunson, and he goes to another one in SGA. And so he knows how to play with that type of point guard. They understand they're going to need rebounding. That was an Achilles heel for them last year, just trying to manufacture enough points to make up for their rebound deficit. And it's the same thing as what a big like Zach Edey could do for Jaren is what Hartenstein can do for Chet Holmgren. He doesn't have to be in there fighting and banging. He can play out on the perimeter, play in the mid post, be a little bit more versatile in that way. And then also he can now be a weak side defender, not the on ball pick and roll defender at all times. And so there's another move and another one of these teams to say, geez, just go to somewhere else. Why you go to and enhance a team that was already on the rise and one in which this Grizzlies team will have battles with?
Yeah. Knicks, they pick up Mikal Bridges from the Brooklyn Nets for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected firsts, a protected first, and an unprotected pick swap and a second rounder. Big deal. Bridges on the move. He goes to the New York Knicks. First thing, again, thinking of a Grizzlies standpoint, I think to myself, wow, are they going to get rid of everybody? Who could we get from them?
Cam Johnson. We could maybe borrow Cam Johnson from them. The soccer organization, the soccer teams,
they loan.
They loan guys to Just loan them to us for a couple seasons.
Loan them to the Grizzlies for the year. Yeah, absolutely.
No, but I thought the Knicks bring back championship caliber players. That's what with that Villanova Wildcats foursome that they have there now with their team. And so I thought that was another one that everybody in the Eastern Conference is talking about, making sure you have enough wing defenders to be able to play against the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because the two guys that they have there primarily are very good, in Tatum and Brown. But you look at what Derek White and you look at who came up from Milwaukee?
Holiday.
Yeah, Drew Holiday. You look at them and with the size and how they play, excuse me, you're going to have to compete with that. And so the New York Knicks, you give them credit for going out and making moves, and not just this move. They kind of been a laughing stock for a long time in terms of what's happened in terms of front office moves with them and the players that they've been able to attract. And so you got to give their guys a lot of credit for what they've been able to accomplish here the last couple of seasons. Moving forward, put themselves in a position to be highly competitive.
The Heat signed Bam Adebayo, 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-Defensive Player, 3-year deal, $166 million. Also, Kevin Love finalizing a 2-year, $8 million deal to return to the Heat. Kevin Love.
When I heard that, I was like, is he moving? Is he in the front office position?
Is he he's taking over Udonis's role, I guess.
I mean, they look, if you're an old dude in the league, you gotta be telling your agent, hey, just start planting the seed in Miami that I could be available.
It'd be a good veteran for you.
I'll be a good vet. You're 77, but I can be there and help the guys as much as I can. But right. The money is outrageous.
Silly.
Right now.
Remember when Mike Conley was the highest paid player in the history of the game?
Yes.
And it was $153 million. That was not long ago.
Roberto, this is, and whenever people say it to me, you know what I always say? I mean, the people that own these teams, how much money do they have?
No kidding.
Think about that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm taking care of all of these expenses, all this stuff. How am I doing? Look at you. See, when you really think about it, look what happens.
I was going to say something that I'm going to refrain from saying.
Okay.
After the show, but it was good. Remind me. It was good. It was good.
All right. I will.
Andre Drummond, 2 years, $10 million with the Sixers. Tyrese Maxey, $204 million extension with the Sixers as well. And then they got Paul George as well. I didn't add that one in there.
Andre Drummond was one of those guys where you start talking about veteran guy, maybe that could come and help, maybe not cost that much. He was one of those guys that crossed my mind.
Oh, no doubt about it. Tatum, 5 years again. Remember, Mike Conley was the highest paid player of all time in NBA history. People were like, "That's crazy." It was not that long ago. Jason,
hold on, listen
Tatum,
to this number, everybody. Listen to this number.
5 years. $314 million extension. $314 million, 5 years. So $63 million a year on average. Largest deal in NBA history.
And the thing about it for me is like people always like, man, don't you wish you were playing during this time? I was like, heck yeah, I want to. But I don't hate on any, like I'm like, hey, bro, that's, like, it's just, I'm literally just like, man, that is crazy, that the numbers, but it's just also how good the league is doing. It's the TV contract that's coming up. It is the same as with the Mike Conley contract. It's just money that has to be spent.
Yeah,
like that's just what it is. It's just the nature of the game. Like you got to spend this money, and this is what it takes. This is what it costs to pay these players, but. It's almost crazy now. When you used to hear to like 2 years, 10 million, you're like, okay, nice little mid level, nice little deal. You hear guys doing 2 years, 8 million, you're like, man, that's nothing. You got to catch yourself.
Yeah, I mean Derek White, 4 years, 126 million. I mean that's over 30 million a year for Derek White. He's good and all. Xavier.
X got him a deal.
X got a deal. Xavier Tillman, 2-year deal to return to the Celtics. Congratulations for him. Happy for him. That's awesome. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope signing with the Orlando Magic. Magic suddenly the attractive team that everybody's looking at.
Jamal Mosley, man. He is he's done a good job with that, with the culture of how they want to play there. Who doesn't want to go and play in Orlando? And so that doesn't hurt. And now that they've made the organization as a whole has gotten better internally, and they have great facilities. Yeah, it's become a destination again.
Russell Westbrook picked up his $4 million option to return to the Clippers. Now it's reported that they're trying to move him possibly to Denver.
I think that Russ has to adjust his game at some point. Like I love the ferocity at which he plays, and you never want to put a harness on someone, but the type of shots that he's taking, when just to run into the basket and haphazardly getting up shots, that mixed with the turnovers, it is just. He has, as he moves forward to finish out his career, I think a lot of it will be based on how much better he can be with a different role moving forward.
So the Clippers move on from Paul George. I don't know what your plan is going forward if you're the Clippers, but why are you signing Harden to a 2-year, $70 million deal and Nick Batum to a 2-year, $9.5 million deal? I mean, where do you feel you are if you're the Clippers?
Well, the other thing is they're going to have to do something else because they're moving into a new building next year.
Yeah.
And so you want something, unless there is the belief that Kawhi Leonard is going to be able to shoulder the load to go along with James Harden. Will there be a continued resurgence of James Harden? But they still got to do a good job with filling out the rest of the roster. Like losing Paul George is huge. The rest of those guys on their team, Terrence Mann is good, but you're talking about a team full of guys who play roles pretty well. They're going to need another heavy lifter if they're going to stay relevant.
Derek Jones Jr. Signing with the Clippers, 3 years, $30 million deal. DeAnthony Melton signing a 1-year deal with the Golden State Warriors. And you know who else signed? You know who signed a 3-year deal with the Golden State Warriors? Kyle Anderson, Jersey. Yeah, so Melton and Anderson gonna be teammates for the Golden State Warriors.
The Warriors watched them play against them enough times. So they had success against us. Let's see if they can have success with us.
Yeah. Klay Thompson joining the Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal with a player option. That historic run is over. Klay goes to the Dallas Mavericks. Good pickup for Dallas, though, I think.
Oh, fantastic pickup for Dallas. And it'll be interesting the role that he plays. I would suspect he will come off the bench for them because you don't want to have 3 non-defensive guys out on the floor at this juncture. I know Klay works at it, but it's not Klay Thompson of old on the defensive side. But I think for him, a need for them, they're a big one-on-one team, guys that draw a lot of attention off the dribble. They can get him shots in that way. And he'll be playing with veteran guys the same ways he was playing in Golden State. So it's not like he's going to a team where he's the old guy with a bunch of young guys teaching him how to play. No, he's going to a veteran team with a veteran coach. So I think it's a good move for both parties.
Chris Paul.
And Dallas stays relevant. Dallas stays relevant.
Chris Paul goes to San Antonio. What'd you make of that?
They still got to. I don't know what's their other point guard situation. I know Trey Jones was there last year. I don't know if they picked up anyone since then, but if you want to have someone who is there to be able to teach a young star in the making, then there's not a better person than Chris Paul in doing that. And so, between he and Popovich, and the Spurs staff, I think that gets Wemby on the correct trajectory as they move forward. But I still think they got to find a permanent point guard for them.
Yeah. This was one of the weird ones. Jonas agreed to a 3-year deal with the Wizards.
Sometimes, listen, you got to just make the money.
Yeah, 3 years, $30 million.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you look around and you say, well, what's good for me? I thought he was a good fit in New Orleans for what they needed. If they didn't, they could switch and play Larry Nance. They played different styles, and I thought he was decent in the playoffs. But listen, if they're not offering you something that's near what someone else is offering you, then you have to make business decisions. I tell you, this is not the sport of basketball in the NBA. It's the business of basketball.
Mm-hmm. And it has been crazy. Donovan Mitchell, 3-year deal to stay in Cleveland. Pistons signed Cade Cunningham to the 5-year rookie extension. Tobias Harris lands with the Pistons on a 2-year, $52 million deal. And the head coach of the Pistons agreed on a 5-year deal. JB Bickerstaff is the head coach of the Detroit Pistons. JB's back.
Hold on. Did you say that Tobias Harris signed a 2-year, $52 million deal?
Yep.
Are you sure? To go back to Detroit?
To go back to Detroit, yeah.
Wow. $52 million? I try to tell you, he is the most intriguing person in the NBA at this point. who people just continue to say I'm one of those people. I said every telecast we watch him. I'm just like, you watch him play, and it's just like, bro, this dude can do so much more, but he doesn't do it. It's like Andrew Wiggins. He and Andrew Wiggins, to me, are two of the most frustrating players in the NBA because so much talent, but it's just like you just don't know if you're gonna see it tonight. I just don't know if I'm gonna see it.
Yeah.
But for JB, I'm happy for JB, and I say this for JB. I told him he gave him a congratulations text, and a lot of it because I told him I was proud of him for becoming what we would say is a bona fide NBA coach. When you can get fired and hired in the same summer, that's when you're a for real coach.
You've made it. Yeah.
Oh, you've made it. You've crossed over that line that they can overlook the firing part. You know what? That was doing them. They don't know what they missing in him. I think he can help us. We'll hire him, and that's what JB was doing. But it's good for JB, and we talked about this. He's really cool because he can still talk the talk because he's still young enough, but he still has a lot of old school in him because of Bernie, and so he still holds people accountable, which in today's game rubs guys the wrong way a lot of times because they've been coddled for so long and through so many different scenarios. And don't get me started, a whole nother tangent. I'm not going to go down that road. I think I'm happy for him, and I think he's good for teams, especially with some young stars, but some guys that also need to be taught how the game has to be played, but what your career as a pro should also look like with the way that it gets across to young players today.
I always thought JB, and he's going to be with a bad team. He was with a bad team here, and I always thought he got the most out of a bad team every night. And he's a guy that, I know with young players and with some guys who just, aren't happy going through a season like that, he had their attention. And, that's one of the biggest keys, I think, for a coach to have success is to have your players' ear. And JB certainly does that. So wish him the best. Definitely. Great to hear JB getting hired. All right. A couple of things real quick. One, so I'm watching the Bridgerton preview the other night. Yeah. My wife walks in and says, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, Brevin watches this." And she busted out laughing.
Oh,
she looked at me. She said, "You would never watch this. It's British, it's English, and it's in the 1800s, man. I need stuff that's today. I can't watch this old
Roberto, I'm telling you, man. Put the closed caption on to help you with the accents. And then from there, the aesthetics of the show, I'm telling you, man, and the writing is excellent. It'll draw you in. Watch one episode. Just watch one episode. Hey, you know what? I'm going to start watching that Presumed Innocent.
It's good. It's good. It's real good.
I just heard somebody else literally was like, "There's a show on Apple that we watching. It's the best. It's the best show I've seen in a long time. Presumed Innocent." I was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, it's good. It's good, except the first week they came out with 2 episodes, and then every week they've come out with one more episode each week. And so when I've watched them as they've come out, and it's that cliffhanger at the end of every show, and then you got the whole week to wait for it. And
that's why. What do? Wait for the season to be over.
Yeah. But you're good now. I mean, you're what, about 4 or 5 in that you can watch?
Yeah, I got a couple. But also the Bear is back out also.
Oh, okay.
I I gotta watch that one.
Right. All right.
But yeah, that's good.
I watched Caitlin Clark the other day. I watched a game, and they won in Phoenix. It was a great shoot. It went for 15, 9, and 12. She set a record with 129 assists in game 20 for the Fever. It's a rookie Fever record, 129 assists halfway through the season. The next hour, Angel Reese had her 10th consecutive double-double, which was a WNBA single-season record.
Listen,
Wow.
I told you there are storylines on storylines in the WNBA. And Angel Reese, the thing about her is, I love about her is she is in there banging, scrapping every night. Yep. No matter who whatever big it has to be, with Angel Wilson, doesn't matter. Whoever's out there, she's getting it in. And for Caitlin, we're seeing that it's more than just the scoring. And I think that was one of the things she mentioned when she was coming out. She said that she'll be able to show her coaching teammates that she does more than just score. Yeah. So those assist numbers bear that to be true.
Yeah, it was cool to watch. It was a good game, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. So shout out to the W and me watching. I'm a new viewer, another new viewer for the W.
So there you go. That's all that they can ask for. Give it a try. Yeah. Give it a try, and see what you can be. I told you I enjoy watching it because the execution is still there, but the athleticism has grown over the years.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's certainly different, and is awesome. It was fun to watch. A couple of toasts. Can I do a couple of toasts?
Yeah, let's go. Who we got?
All right. First, shout out toast to Joey Chestnut, who's banned from the hot dog eating contest. He's banned.
But isn't he gonna do his own? He's
gonna do his own thing. I think on Netflix or something at the end of the month, something like that. I don't know. Something stupid. I mean, it's gross. I've never watched the hot dog eating contest because I find it rather disgusting. How about you?
Yeah, because I don't know how and why you get so excited to watch someone stuff freaking hot dogs down their mouth and everybody stands around cheering for it. Like
and come close to throwing up and gagging themselves, which I don't want to see. I don't want to see people throw up and gag.
Whenever you got to dump your food in water before you eat it to try to make it, I mean, it's so I know and when people start trying to call him an athlete, that's when I'm really like, okay, now let's stop the madness. Yeah. Dude got some stomach problem that allows him to eat the way he does with these hot dogs. That's all. That's not athletic.
No, and I love hot dogs like anybody, but not that way. That's disgusting. That is a disgrace to what they do to those hot dogs in this stupid contest. But shout out Joey Chestnut, the greatest to ever do it. And also a toast to Bobby Bonilla, the former New York Met. Bobby Bonilla is still getting paid by the Mets.
Is he still $1 million a year?
On July 1st, Bonilla got paid $1,193,248.20, and will continue to get that through 2035.
Yes, I remember
2035. He gets that every year.
Look, people talk about Ohtani and him. Hold on, man. Bobby B did that a long time ago. Deferred all of that. I'm cool. I just want to make sure I get $1 million every year.
And he's been out of the league for 15 years.
Yes. Bobby B had his sign. He had it set up nicely.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You just sitting around. You're like, oh, what's today? July 3rd. 1 million, baby. There it is.
For nothing.
Hey, we did shit. We got it, though.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. So shout out Bobby Bo.
Yeah,
that story is amazing. Every year I hear it. I mean, it's fantastic. Yes, sir. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Night Court. It was a busy one with the free agent frenzy.
That was fun, though. I like that.
Yeah, man. Thank you for listening.
Hold on, Fish. Here's the thing is, way to not tell me that we were going to go that in depth with it and just surprise me and throw me with all of these different people in the teams. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah. I enjoyed no preparation. It's kind of how we do it, right?
I love it.
That'll do it for us. Thanks for listening to the podcast. And if you are listening, don't forget you can watch the podcast each and every week as well on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. And we'll have it linked through our Twitter and Threads and Facebook and everything. You can get the link that way as well to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel to watch every episode every week. And you can get us on Twitter. I'm at The Fish Nation. Brevin's at Brevin Knight 22 and the show at Night Court 22. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this edition of Night Court. We'll do it again next week. Have a good one.
Well, I was about to say, hurry up because I'm about to be glowing in the dark here. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.